Way with Corey Crawford, the fastest member of the Crawford family, is brought to us by PCC Airfoils. Are you looking for a job with
that one hurt.
great benefits? PCC Airfoils is the leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
By the
What's
way,
up, Corey?
Thomas, you don't want no smoke. You don't want no smoke. Why don't you raise him? I would have got my little brother. I would have got my little brother. What's up, bro?
Every time I'm on set, Tyvis is dodging me.
I know, Tyvis is
Right.
right.
Getting this smoke.
Jay, are you
telling
saying
you.
you're still faster than your son? Are you claiming this?
You know, to hear those words,
Yeah.
it really cuts me.
Sophomore in high school, I think is when I passed it.
You know,
I remember it was on the baseball field. I'll never forget. It was on
Yeah,
the
so-
baseball field in front of all
every
the
year,
team.
first day of the baseball
Right.
season and the last day of the baseball season, we would run the bases. And he was always fast, always.
Yeah.
And sophomore year, I was helping coach his high school team. And, you know, of course, the whole team's like, all right, this is the year. Corey's grown, he's bigger.
Yeah.
And he beat me by a step.
Were you salty
And it
about
was
it?
the last time we've ever raced.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really was?
Yeah.
I'm retired.
Listen.
How salty was he?
He was upset. I mean, he was a fast guy. How old were you at that point? You were in your young 40s.
Well, you were 14 and I was so I was 40.
40.
I was 40.
So I mean, to hang on.
But
for
I was
40.
still, at 40 I could still pick him
He
up
could
and put him
scoot.
down.
He could
Yeah.
scoot. He was beating 9 out of 10 guys on my team.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
And the difference was I knew I was going to lose. I didn't tell him that. But he had grown between his 9th grade year and his sophomore year. And when he was in 9th grade, you were probably the fastest kid in your school as a sophomore.
Maybe, yeah.
But
I developed a little later.
Yeah,
till I
you
got,
did.
like,
But
bigger.
as your sophomore year,
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
I was going to lose. So
I knew I was destined to go to the track after that. I was always fast, but
I did too.
I wasn't batting 350 or 400 or anything
his
like
baseball
that.
coach
I was
said,
stealing bags.
keep him
though.
off the track, man, because if he goes out to track, he's
It's
done
over.
for baseball.
I'd have been the best pinch runner ever.
Big Ten championships are at the Spire Institute. They start tomorrow.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that and how you feel about your guys.
Yeah, so Spire's been hosting Big Tens now for, God, I mean, I competed there. It was my first Big Ten championship, 2016. But they've been hosting high-level track and field swimming competitions.
Is that the best indoor track in the world?
It's the largest indoor track, square footage-wise. It has a whole banquet hall behind it. They've hosted weddings. They've done a whole bunch of great stuff. And obviously, I worked at Spire for a year, so I was their social guy. Did some social stuff, but trained there as well. And really good people up there, really good people. But yeah, Big Ten championships are in. We start tomorrow.
Your jump squad is good, but hurt.
Wait
Right?
a second. You're using terminology that I and most of our fans don't understand.
What? Jump
Like
squad?
jump squad. Nobody knows what the hell that means.
Well, it's
What
jumpers.
does that mean?
So my long jumper.
Oh, just jumpers. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So,
But-
the defending indoor and outdoor Big Ten champion
Yeah.
for Rutgers is not going to be here at the indoor. Just a little banged up injury. So he's redshirting, as you guys know, kind of get the year
But your
back.
number 2 could easily win it too.
But I got a kid, a sophomore, who as a freshman was number 1 in the NCAA as a freshman. He finished 10th at NCAA, and he's a favorite coming in to win. But underclassmen, you never know. Especially
Pressure,
a lot of pressure.
How does it work? Explain this to me, and for I don't have no clue, and for fans who probably have no clue, most of them out there. When it comes to the NCAA championship or the Big Ten championships, NCAA championships, is it like wrestling where, hey, one team might have one guy and one team might have 8 guys, or is it the whole team comes from the school?
You're allowed to travel 35, men
Okay.
and women. So, it's
But it's
70
not
plus.
certain players guys qualify.
We pretty much, like they have rankings of all the Big Ten events.
Yeah.
So it's a website called tfrs.com. And if you're not inside that top 20, we're just not going to travel you. Like, you just not come with the team.
Okay.
because you don't have a chance to score
There's only
points
top
then.
8 place, and in track at this point in the year, this late in the indoor season, you kind of know where you're at. You're not going to suddenly get faster, much faster over a week or two. So we just kind of leave them behind and start training for outdoor, because outdoor comes right around the corner.
Who's the favorites to win?
You probably have Ohio State on the women's side. Minnesota won last year indoors, but Iowa's a heavy favorite on the men. But yeah, obviously women and men. But it's track and field. You can't sit there and score it because some of the 60-meter dash and 400-meter dash. 0.1, 0.2 seconds separates 8th and
Sometimes
3rd,
a hundredth of a second.
or like 16th and 5th. So like guys who are seeded 15th coming in will sneak in and get a couple points. get
Right.
8.
So this
7,
isn't
6.
the NBA playoffs where the 1 seed is advancing to the 2 seed.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
No,
you can have more upsets than
yeah.
this.
Now in the sprints, like when you start 200, 400, 800, you start going longer distances. Normally the favorite wins.
Yeah.
Just on that day. Field events, you get 6 attempts. Anything could happen.
Right.
Just because you're the favorite, you've jumped 25 feet one time doesn't mean you got to do it on the day.
There's just one score total for.
Yeah,
it
so
all
there'll
adds up
be
to one.
Yep. So you get 10 points if 10 for first, 8 for second, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Obviously, you've been, to the, almost to the Olympics, made the Olympic team multiple times. Where do you see overall USA track and field? There was a while there where USA dominated, Carl Lewis and all those guys, but then the Jamaicans came out of nowhere for about 10 years, thanks to Usain Bolt and Johan Blake and Asafa Powell, all those guys. Where do you think now with some of the younger dudes?
Good track knowledge, by the way.
That's a great
Yeah,
question.
he blew me away.
Good track knowledge.
That's well done.
with that stuff.
Can you name the Olympic champion in 2021?
Wasn't it a guy?
It was in the 100 meter.
Wasn't it a guy
The country, they've never won
The
it before.
Italian dude, right?
They've never
from
won it.
Italian, and he's black.
Marcel Jacobs.
And he's
like,
bald,
yeah.
He's and then we got the two brothers.
Well, we have Fred Curley and Christian Coleman and Trayvon
Fred Curley's
Bromell.
an A&M dude.
Yeah, Curley's an A&M. He just signed with ASIC, huge deal. So, I mean, but back on your question on where USA track and field is right now, I think track, back in the 80s, that was the glory day. You got guys on the Wheatie boxes. You got
Flojo.
Oh God, please don't show that. That was my freshman year after I
Corey, we have
split
3
my
minutes of
kneecap.
freshman year video from you, just a
Oh
heads up.
man, this is like 23
Look how
feet.
little you
That's
were.
no good. That's no good. Yeah, that was me coming off
As
of my
Corey
red
would say,
shirt
that's
year.
buns.
Yeah, no, 23.4. And my PR is 27.3, so you're wrong on that. So
Yeah, I know. I saw that you must have grabbed some old stuff that I posted.
This was from your YouTube page.
Yeah, but I
This is
posted
Corey
that
Crawford's
stuff, and
personal
he's-
YouTube
He's
page.
got some stuff, yeah.
He surpassed
some
all
cool
of those
stuff.
because I saw when you had his personal bests up there. He did those in 21.
Well, those are from Rutgers. The
Yeah,
personal
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Yeah,
Those are from
but he exceeded all that stuff at the
Will
Olympic
you actually?
trials.
I have a question for Corey. Will you pull up his records real quick? So, Corey, what is your record now on the long jump?
27.3, so 8.29 meters. Everything's metric. We're the only people that use feet.
27.3. So these are from Rutgers. You then.
Yeah,
did you ever
indoor
just
is
think
still 26.11. Outdoor
Still
27.3.
faster than Dad. You suck,
Yeah.
McNuggets.
Well, Corey, my question is, if 27.3 is your career record, did you
Yeah.
ever just think about jumping further? You ever just think about going like 27.4, 27?
I wish, man. I wish. I mean, you
What's
teach
the
a
all-time
lot.
record?
29.4 by Mike Powell. Yeah.
Now
and
it
Carl
should be
Lewis.
pointed out that there was there was a lot of stuff going on during that.
Oh.
The 1 and 2 happened in the same meet.
Yeah.
It was Powell and Lewis, and there's strong suspicion.
I mean,
that
Bob
it
Beamon
was-
had the
It was
Olympic
fueled
record
by
and-
outside chemicals.
Now,
There were some weights in the fish that day.
When Powell broke the record, they told him what it was. They told him how, and he looked around like,
No.
I ain't never jumped that far. They just went. Carl Lewis was beside himself. He was just like,
Well,
yeah.
didn't
Well-
Lewis set the record, and then later
Yeah.
in that meet, Powell broke
Yep.
it?
I actually had the chance to speak with Mike Powell at a meet like 3 or 4 years ago. This is in Southern California. And, here's one of my idols, but this guy was always second fiddle to Carl. I mean, he may
Yeah.
have beaten Carl 2 times his whole career. Like Carl went 8 years of not losing a long jump competition. That's insane. That's Olympics, international, everywhere.
It is
But
nuts.
this guy Powell, he just hit one. You have 6 jumps. He caught one. Bob Beamon was a similar guy. He still got the Olympic record. He jumped 29.2 in Mexico City. That was an altitude. He never jumped 28 feet before that. He
Yeah,
went from
so he beat his
27
PR
feet,
by over a foot.
PR by
Wow.
over a foot, and that's still, in my eyes, one of the greatest Olympic just moments in sport because it still stands today, and no one had ever seen a 28-foot jump, let alone a 29-foot jump.
now
so
you think about it like this. Now during that time, to Jay's point, you had FloJo, and she ran a 10.
Oh, she
ran a 10. Now hey, we can't say people allegedly,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying you got that 10-4.
Yeah, I don't even think you have to say allegedly because she
10-4?
tested
yeah,
positive.
she
so
tested
we know that
positive,
she,
enlarged heart. Yeah. I mean,
10-4.
you still
Yeah.
got to do it. It's like baseball. I mean, I like a lot of as having trained for Olympic trials and having trained at a high level, and I trained at the Olympic Training Center, so there weren't talks of steroids, but man, were there guides that, man, you know, if you take this, you're going to get to that next level, you know? Because at the top, like at the 1%, you're looking for that 1% increase. So
I don't think I've ever.
in my eyes, when people do cheat in that, and I mean, I just lose a lot of respect. We at USATF, Justin Gatlin and Tyson Gay, 2-time double dopers, we put them on the pedestal of
Justin
USATF.
Gatlin.
They speak at our conferences. I'm not a real believer of that. I still like, you know, like a lot of my training partners and Olympians and Olympic medalists, we just kind of turn, we just turn the other way. Like if you've been caught and you've been cheated, like hardcore, and you serve suspension, 2-3 year suspension, it should be lifetime. It should be lifetime.
I've never asked you
It's such a
this.
performance enhancing, you know what I mean?
It
In
is.
baseball, you have to do it. Barry Bonds still a great hitter, but you got to do it. And in track, when you're getting, and you know, it's like putting in diesel fuel and everyone's putting in regular.
I've never asked you this. We've had talks about this. You've lost medals, prestigious championships, to guys who we later found out were using. I always, from the time you were old enough to have professional ambitions in any sport, I always spoke to you about the dangers of steroids and how if you got to cheat to win, you're not winning. You're cheating yourself and you're losing. But I've never asked you, how close did you actually come to, I'm sure you had to have considered it, but how close did you ever come?
I
never-
never.
Did you
I
have the
totally
needle?
would have cheated.
Hey,
I would've cheated.
You did.
Did
You
you have the needle on your left cheek?
Oh,
Was
man.
it
If
there?
I was playing baseball in the
Hey.
steroid era, I'd be jacked up on steroids. If everybody else is doing it, I'd do it.
There were talks, you know, throwers, you know, where we trained in Chula Vista, California is about 5 miles from Tijuana, Mexico. So you talk about any steroid you want, bam, like that. It's not even a problem. So, but I never ever thought of it one time. I never, it never crossed my brain.
Why?
And I don't know. I always wanted to see. Now, I didn't have Olympic aspirations, really. I got into track when I was a junior in high school. So I didn't really think I was going to be this, you know, collegiate guy who to push an NCAA champion and then go to Olympic trials. So maybe if you're at a younger age, you know, you think about that. But I never once gave it thought process. I always just wanted to see how far my body could go. I know this sport as a coach now, everyone's given a different set of tools. It's a very God-given sport. It is. It's you're either fast or you're not. I can coach speed. I can't instill it. You know, you're either fast or you're not. So I just wanted to get the most out of what I was given, and I know that I wasn't given nearly some of the gifts my competitors were, with some height and some ability, but I got the most out of it.
Do you feel that you did get everything out of your...
Oh, no, I have regrets. I think every elite athlete would say, yeah, maybe deep down.
Really?
deep,
Because
deep
I,
down.
as a
Yeah.
parent who
Yeah.
watched you and studied the sport because you were in it, I think you got more out of it than...
I was very
Carl
lucky.
Lewis
I was
told me
very
one
lucky.
day that you could jump 27 feet.
Yeah, I did
He told
right
me
in
that.
front of him. I did when he was there. Which
I
is
know
pretty
you did,
cool, which
but
is
he
bone-chilling.
told me, he goes, he's a 27-foot jumper.
Yeah.
But he never said he's a 27-and-a-half-foot jumper.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, when you look at, you know, our sport and what is at the tip top, there's not much that separates, you know, a lot of guys who, and now I lost, mind you, to Olympic trials. I was 4th coming in. I took 8th in the meet, but the top 3 guys I lost to were 1, 3, and 5 in the world. So I'm losing to some of the, you know, not just the best in the country, but, and I think that's, you know, where you said, where's USA Track and Field? We've never been at a better place success-wise. We scored the most medals at World Championships in Oregon than we've ever scored in any World Championships ever. So as far as dominance, never been better.
It's tough to make a U.S. Olympic team.
But as much as, like athlete support, like USATF, you know, their foundation doesn't do much support for the athletes. It's shoe companies. It's Adidas, it's Nike, it's ASICS, it's the actual foundation. Now they fundraise and stuff, but there's no like monthly, you know, there's no like 5-year.
They're not supporting you.
Are there any
there's
events?
no
Although
contracts.
you were essentially living at the Olympic Training Center.
I had
They
as
covered-
much support as you can get. Yeah, I had room and board and food and trainers and coaches and travel and all that. I was very lucky. Now, I was the 0.01% coming out of college. I was NCAA runner-up, 4-time All-American. So there's so many kids in the NCAA, 21, 22 years old, in the prime of their life, and they're done. Track's over.
Are there
So
some
that's-
events that America sucks in, like shot put or some of these other?
We struggle in the throws, javelin, discus.
Yeah.
Those
'Cause
are
our
more
big guys
Eastern
go play
European.
football.
Yeah, we
Right,
lose a
right.
lot to baseball and football too. So
Right,
like just
right,
the
yeah.
rocket arms. We do a little bit, and it's very technical. High jump is one we lose. It's extremely technical.
Yeah.
So they teach it right over there. It's called athletics, not track and field. It's athletics, and they teach it from a young age. So they're.
I want to go back to the doping because that fascinates me. I said I would have juiced. I know I would have because they weren't testing for it, and there was no.
Yeah.
If you dope in track and field, you're going to get caught, right? Like,
Yeah.
why would you do
You can
like
cycle
I
it.
could see in baseball why they did it because they were getting away with it and there was no testing for it. You're going to get caught if you do it.
There's basically two avenues. There's WADA, which is World Anti-Doping Agency, and they'll, if you're an extremely high athlete, medalist or something like that, they could randomly test you, but it's normally done at competition testing. And then there's USADA, which is United States Anti-Doping Agency, which is the best in the world. You know, no other countries do this. You have to fill whereabouts. There's been a lot of athletes, if you've read, they failed whereabouts. You know, they didn't fail a drug test. But I had to do whereabouts for about 2 years, and every single place you go, if I, for instance, didn't have this on my schedule on Monday, I'd have to fill in my whereabouts. Hey, I'm going to be here at 11 to 1 at UCSS. Because they could pull up at my apartment to drug test me. If I'm not there, if you miss 3, it's a fail.
Wow.
So if you miss 3. So Christian
And
Coleman.
they do that because guys do dodge.
Yeah.
Christian
They know they're
Coleman's a
using-
name you didn't hear about because he didn't run at the Olympics. I mean, this guy's one of the fastest guys in the world. He would have been a big favorite.
That's
He
crazy.
didn't run
I didn't even notice
because his
that.
whereabouts.
I didn't even notice he wasn't.
How many guys you got? Or do you coach the men and the women?
Yeah, men and women.
How many? So how many athletes do you
I
have
have
here?
20 in my group. 20. We have about
Just in
60.
your group, in the
yeah,
jumping
we have
group.
about 65 here total.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of your 20, how many? I don't know if you want to answer. I don't. Well, but I don't want to be the.
Hey, I'll be
but,
honest.
But how many? How many have
I'm
a
very
shot-
straightforward.
How many have a shot to finish first?
Oh, 2.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Big Ten. You know, these.
mentioned
these-
one
this
guy.
is a
And your
great
female pole vaulter.
Yeah, our vaulter won. Our female vaulter won outdoor, so she's the heavy favorite coming in for indoor. And a lot of the seniors are gone. Sincere jumping against a great veteran from Iowa, though, a 6-year veteran from Iowa.
Is she going to be an Olympian?
Chloe Timber, shout out Chloe.
I bet she is.
Potentially, yeah. She's only a sophomore, and as a freshman, she was 12th in the NCAA. But as far as the world goes, like U20, they give a U20 ranking. She was like 6th U20 in the world.
Oh, wow.
So she's got a lot of potential.
Where's she from?
Pennsylvania. Does everything I say from the weight room and then some. You know, we'll offer to throw in some lifts here and there. So she's my best communicators are my best athletes. I'll say that. But
Do you recruit all over the country?
yeah, world.
Cool.
Ray Ventrone,
Barbados.
your fellow flag
That's
football
right.
coach.
That's right. Who
that
would
we
have
won the
thought we'd both be
championship with.
coaching? You know,
Yeah,
all
that's
these years
great.
later.
Wait,
That's
Corey,
great.
you said you're part of the Rutgers recruiting contingent. Is that just for jumpers, or is that for everybody that comes to the track program?
No, I'll recruit jumpers, multis. If I see a sprinter, you know, I talked to a kid in Ohio who was.
So
really
how'd you
good.
let a Ting Mo leave New Jersey, man?
Ha! Well, I wasn't on staff then. I think.
Okay, that's your only excuse.
Well, her and Sydney McLaughlin did not come on campus. Now they're both obviously
Shout out
Olympic
to
medalists,
Sydney.
world record holders. Yeah. So,
Shout out to
but
Sydney.
yeah, there's so much little talent up in Jersey. All the coaches in the Big Ten knew when we got in. They said, okay, this is a newer staff. This is a 3-year staff. So we're. This is just my 2nd year. So it takes a little while to get those recruits in, and to get the transfer portal is a whole nother game. I mean, that's wild.
Is that affecting
But
track as well?
transfer
Big time?
portal has to be
absolutely,
crazy.
absolutely.
It is
He has guys reach out to him all the Let me ask you this. You currently have the records, the long jump records, indoor and outdoor, at Rutgers.
Yeah.
Are you hopeful that those go down? And if so, what will it feel like for you to coach? Because you have kids now that, although they're not in where you were,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it wouldn't be outside the realm of reasonability that if Sincere continues to grow, maybe as a senior,
Yeah.
he might break your
No.
outdoor, probably
Oh,
not your
my,
indoor.
My outdoor's gone. It's only 26 even. That's not anything crazy. The indoor 27 feet indoor is going to be tough to get, but I do hope that one day they get it. I always say, and this is what we say come championship time. You know, and this is what I was told. This is we got Big Ten championships and then NCAA championships. And this is what you're going to be remembered by. Records are meant to be broken, literally. I mean, and figuratively, they'll always get broken. There will always be some kid coming in, jumping far, running fast, but no one will ever take away the Big Ten championship. No one will ever take away an NCAA championship.
Right.
Those are things that last forever. So records are, they're just on the whiteboard temp. It's going to get wiped down. Sincere will break my outdoor or Anon. Anon did twice, but it was windy for all you non-track people. If it's too windy, it doesn't count for records and
Well, you
stuff
had a
for
couple of big
qualifying.
ones too, though, that because of wind.
Yeah, did not.
And
count,
how
so it's
frustrating is
kinda
that? So if it's over a 2.0,
2.0 meters per second, which is roughly about 5 mile per hour wind.
Are they
At your
measuring
back.
that while you're jumping?
As
Yeah.
soon as you begin your approach and you get down the
Wow.
runway, someone presses
And
a
5
button.
doesn't seem
and it's
that
10
strong.
seconds.
Do you
It's
ever know
not,
that?
man.
Do you know it as you're jumping?
Now we'll wait and we'll put our hands out and we'll feel the wind. And if it's too, it's The NCAA rules are a little bit different. Like, it's got to be under 4.0 for you to qualify for like meets and stuff. But for record setting, Olympic trials, USA championships, like world standards, which you have to hit, it's got to be under 2.0,
So
which is stupid.
You talk about these records. So I got to ask you, which one of these records is most likely to be broken? The 100-meter, 9.58. The
How do you know all this?
He knows track. I can tell he knows his track.
The 200, 19.19.
Nice,
1919.
Yeah.
And,
Michael Johnson.
No,
And this
Isn't it?
Usain.
It's Usain
Oh,
Bolt.
yeah, that's right.
And Noah Lyles just beat Michael Johnson American record.
Yes, he
so
has.
watch out for Noah.
And his brother's pretty fast too.
Oh, yeah, Josephus.
Yeah, Joe, he's
rolling.
Now listen, this
I'm
is
as shocked by this as I am the
this
makeup.
is the craziest.
He did his
one.
homework. He did his homework.
43.03
Yeah,
by Wade
Van Eerkert. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Who
was.
is
You
this
know,
man?
Wade Van Eerkert tore his ACL in a celebrity
Yeah.
rugby game.
Yeah, you
never
told me that.
ran again.
Yeah, but isn't
What
there a
a
lot of
shame.
question as to whether or not he was
Yeah,
clean?
South Africa was doing some crazy things. In
Something that
16.
Jason said earlier about you're going to get caught. That's not true anymore. Here's why.
Oh, then I'll dope there too.
With the old stuff, you might be running a 1919 200.
Look at me.
With the old stuff, you were using
Lance
testosterone
Armstrong.
or you were using all of the standards. But now with synthetic drugs, if you guys remember with Balco and Bonds, the linchpin to all of that was a track coach.
Yeah.
Sent a vial of HGH that was designed in a test tube in Balco to USADA and said, by the way, here's the needle that you don't know you're looking for in the haystack.
Wow.
Because if you don't know the chemical compound elements of it,
Yeah.
you can't find what you're not looking for.
Yeah.
So all of these athletes, particularly track and field, Balco mostly got started in track and field. It spread to baseball because it was undetectable.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know that.
yeah, no,
There's
that's
probably
how it all
new
started.
stuff now, right?
so
That's-
There's
yeah.
always new
Right.
stuff. It's a cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
But even now, he's competed against athletes that got popped after the fact. So they take an A and a B sample and they save them. He's got samples that are on file as B samples. If he later, when they find a new element, they go back and they test some of those world record B samples.
Oh.
Someday, the kid from South Africa that broke that record, you're going to probably hear a story. Oh, he was under the influence at the time.
Do you believe any of those three? Because the 43.03, because usually when you're running the 400, he had sprint background, so he had a kick, but I ain't never heard a kick.
Every Elite Four guy has to have a sprint background, like sub 10 in the 100, sub 20. Now, when we're talking 43, Michael Norman is the guy who could push that, who was our gold medalist at World Championships. He actually ran track with Maddie at USC. He just announced he's going to be running the 100. Everyone knows where the money's at. It's at the 100.
100, yeah.
It's at the 100. Fred Curley, he was another guy from Texas A&M, who was just he won the Heisman of track, basically in college. He was a 4 guy. He stepped down to the 1. He got silver medal at the Olympics. Just signed a huge
Which is
deal with
insane.
ASIC. Yeah, but he's getting paid. No one watches a 4. It's not the glamour event.
It's not.
Even the 400 hurdles, not the glamour event.
What do you think of
Sydney's doing
the
that,
slam
but-
dunk winner?
Oh, Mac McClung. I followed that kid since he was.
I'm-
I feel like I've known that kid.
These guys,
He's been in my social media
he got a Puma
living
deal?
room forever.
He got a Puma deal.
Now he got drafted. He didn't get drafted by the Sixers. He wasn't even on the Sixers.
No.
I didn't even know he was in the league.
They
he
just
wasn't even in
signed
the
him.
league.
I think they signed him as a gimmick so he could get into the
No,
slam
he-
dunk, didn't they?
he
I
was
was watching
playing-
Baller's Life with this guy since he was like
He-
in the 10th
He
grade.
was playing out at Georgetown, though.
Yeah,
His last year, he was actually legit scoring a lot of points, making a lot of plays. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this guy's actually gotten good. I didn't
No
know.
wonder
Scored 18
Georgetown
points a
sucks.
game
They
for
got
Texas
white
Tech
players
this last
now.
year.
Oh, Tech. That's right. He went to Tech.
Yeah, and then he went to Texas
transferred,
Tech.
right?
He
transferred
was
to
at
Texas
Georgetown,
Tech.
though, right?
He went from Georgetown to Tech.
He had originally committed to Rutgers. I don't know if you guys know that.
Did he
No,
really?
The first story I did on Mac was when he committed to Rutgers, and that was before he blew up. And then all these
They
offers
could have
started
had
coming
two
in.
sick white kids.
Rutgers got their first 5-star ever in basketball.
Yeah,
He's
on
a
the up and
stud.
up.
He's a
Are
stud.
you?
Yeah. Coach Peichel, Steve Peichel is probably the best coach at Rutgers. I was giving a girl a visit from Rhode Island, and I was just walking around campus, and I was by kind of like the basketball area, and he was just walking around, and they had just had a big win or something on the road. I think they just beat #1 Purdue or something. They had just real big win, and they had some cameras following him around, and he took 5 minutes to stop, introduce himself to my recruits' parents, and now this is a basketball coach. This is track and field. And he asked, where they're from, if they're enjoying their
Please
time.
tell me you got that
and-
recruit.
Yes, she did sign. She did sign. This was earlier in the fall, this was actually not too long ago. But he's done that on a number of occasions where he's stopped and and just he really is a good coach. But Rutgers basketball is a trending
on
up,
the
man.
rise.
Last year they're 4th in the Big Ten.
Did you bring
not a
swag
lot of
for the
respect.
guys? Because
I did. I got a lot of swag. I got a lot of swag.
It's in the
I got
back.
some.
We'll pass it out
I got a
after the show.
hat. I got a whole bunch of.
Are
like,
you done
Adidas stuff.
jumping?
I don't know. You know, people have asked me about Paris in 24, and I don't know. Like this. I've only been coaching for a year and a half. Some of my athletes, I'll drill and because sometimes I'll explain something. And they're like, "Can you just do it? Like, can you just do it?" Because I'm a visual learner, so then I'll just drill and do it. And they're like, "Damn, man, damn, coach, you need to like come back." So, I mean, I wish there was more on the other side for me. I've done everything, 2 Olympic trials. Like I've done like I was Olympic trials finalist. I've done a lot. Obviously, making the Olympic team would be just a feather in the cap, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of like monetary value to come back. I'd have to. It's a lot of training. It's a lot. It's kind of like a boxer. You train, then you get the opportunity. So it's a lot of I'm all in like chips, and I'm not going to go half in, half out. I'm either training 100%, but I have the resources, I have the facilities. I have a girlfriend who's 27 years old who's going to be going to her 2nd Olympic trial. So she's, I'm training with her a little bit here and there. So I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll have to see.
All right.
But
Thanks for coming in, kid.
Hey, by the way, we gotta
long-time listener.
Yeah,
long-time
long-time.
He listens every day.
First time caller.
AWL, first time, long time. First time, long
No,
time.
he listens. He does.
I watch every day.
When we talk in the evenings, he's like, "Man, great show today."
I watch every day.
And he quotes lines
Yep.
from the beginning and the end.
Yep.
We gotta get you some. I got an Oprah's favorite thing coming up, so I got all these dudes swag. I gotta get your size so we get you a barbershop represent out there.
I didn't even know you had your own logo till today.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I kind of knew, but once I saw it on the hat, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah, he's
It's
got his
official.
own line.
It's big time.
No,
It's
it's
on
legit.
It's on
Good
the
luck
hat.
at Big Ten championships.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks
very
for
good.
having me, guys.
Good job.
Absolutely.
Hey,